Welcome back to Timeless Investing. Um, we are talking about 15 timeless investing principles that everyone should know. And we're going to talk about in the long term, we're talking about the short term, but uh, this is something that we should all kind of live by, especially in 2024. We're looking at different ways of looking at investing that should impact how we view our general overall strategy. So, number one, investing is not gambling. Um, there's different ideas that people have about the stock market, and not just the stock market, but putting your money into places that will increase value. Um, to some people, to some people, buying firearms is considered an investment, but gambling on the stock market. Um, People just view things differently. Purchasing gold um, is considered, a slow drip of buying gold over time is, thought of as more safe. But unfortunately, we've seen the price of gold can dip. It can also go way up. So it has some dips and it has some small dips, um, but it has some upticks. But relatively speaking, traditional investing on the stock market, investing in um, uh, coins, digital currency, um, uh, doing options, doing um, more risky, advanced type of investing options is that's you got to know what you're doing. And there's just different ways to invest. There's different things that people may consider a gamble, but in general, overall, keeping your money in a sock drawer is not a good way to to treat your to treat your long-term goals. You have to do something with it, something. Um, so when we think about um, investing, we should think about it as active ways to further your wealth that is active and passive. Um, you could almost think of also just investing your time into furthering your uh, career so that you can make more money, that you have more buying power for investing. That in itself is a way to invest, so to speak. Then we've got number two: avoid making stupid investing mistakes. Now, I'm partial to this because I've made some stupid mistakes. But I guess the main thing is we've got to evolve. Um, and uh, I've made stupid mistakes. I've invested in stocks that I thought were winners because they were trendy. But um, there's trendy, and then there's just stupid. Just because there's a new there's a new publicly traded company, um, just because doesn't mean you should get in. It means you should consider way more things. You should consider the market that it's in. AI, artificial intelligence, should you you know invest in AI if there's some market trends and market traction and you've kept your ear to the ground? Should you invest in a new hot AI stock? Yeah, yeah, sounds right. Should you invest in a new publicly traded, um, you know, um, health stock just because? It sometimes it makes sense that you had Coinbase, for example, that its public, um, its IPO came out, and that public offering, um, you know, a lot of people said get in, and how did it work on the IPO? It came out and it came up and then it quickly dipped. Um, it did not it did not do exactly what I think people thought it would do. And then from there, we all know that it really dipped. After that, got real cheap, and now it's on its way back up. It's recovered pretty nicely. Um, so when you see that there is I would probably say that digital currency and artificial intelligence might be on the same type of plateau when you got new technology and you and the market. Um, and when I say the market, I mean the infrastructure around the market. It's not ready for it yet. And sometimes it's good to buy on the dip. So um, we don't want to put all of our money into gold. We don't want to put all of our money into just stocks or into just new IPOs, the hottest thing. We want to put our money in, spread it out. Now, I don't even think that spreading it out and doing this, you don't want to be, and again, you don't necessarily want to be too spread out, to where you're not really, there's something for diversification. It's one of the main tenets of investing. However, you can also be too diverse to where you're not really making a lot of traction. So I think you want to be very, very calculated in how you do that. You definitely don't want to put everything in just one or two things. That is stupid. Buy stocks when consumer confidence is low. This goes along with the example of um, with like Coinbase, for example. You want to buy. If you believe in something, if you have some type of history or experience with a product or a certain sector, you want to get in after a dip. This isn't rocket science as far as that goes, but and you could say, oh yeah, it's just the Peter Lynch thing. Everybody knows that. But there's something to be said for a example, Microsoft. Microsoft, for years, they've been the ubiquitous company, and you can say that Macs and Apple, that they were in the same market, but they weren't. They weren't the same playing field. They never had government market share like Microsoft. They never had just mainstream corporate America did not utilize Macs for anything besides doing graphics, in the engineering industry, maybe for doing stuff like that for schematics or high resolution graphics. The big boys played there, but not for corporate networking, corporate America, for major networking contracts, directory, Active Directory, um, client server, anything. You're standing up Windows Server, you're standing up Windows clients to take care of 93% of all infrastructure for for businesses. So let's not be silly there when it comes to that. Obviously, Linux, Unix for backbone internet stuff, but we're talking about major corporations, their client software, office software, or any business software package for servers. We're talking about Windows server, not a Unix server, for retail off the shelf stuff. So they, I have some background in IT, and Windows software is, there's nothing like it. Again, there's nothing like it, and they are the true winners when it comes to having a stranglehold in that market. And yet the price of the stock hovered. Just hovered around. It never got higher than $20, $22. It just seemed like it'd go, maybe, I think it got to 27 at some point, and it was like, wow, this is great, this is wonderful. And then right back down, $19. It was just hard to figure out. And their Office product was a winner. Their Windows OS, product was a winner. But they weren't really making money hand and fist, like perhaps like obviously the market didn't think it was a winner, and they capitalized. They capitalized after Gates and Ballmer pretty much left, and they redid a lot of things. They made Azure a winner, and they just went stranglehold on the market. So after that, we're talking huge profits, huge profits. Today, Microsoft's at $400, so north of $400 a share, and you had to just be a believer. When it comes down to it, if you believe that where they were going, if you saw the writing on the wall with the changing of the guard, if you were, had some experience with that, if you believed in their vision when things changed around and they started heavily investing in the cloud, and you could see where their models were changing to service-based, predictable income, predictable wealth. If you saw that and you kind of thought, what, here it is, here's the cash flow, here's what we've been waiting for, and if you felt that as a customer, as you started to feel how much they were getting out of you now, predictably, instead of paying for Office every other year, or not every other year, every other release cycle. Maybe you skip an Office version here and there. They wanted your money every month now. They don't want your $100 for Office every 6 years. They want your money. They want your $28 a month per user, not just your whole family using Office for $100 every 4 years. So that type of price difference, and it just made everything different. And so when you see that type of, you see that things aren't what they will be. You can see a correction coming. That the products that they have are just going to blow up. That's an obvious indicator. Microsoft was an obvious buy, but you've got to be able to know, when you're able to pull the trigger, when it's time to get in now. And if we don't get in now, then it's going to be too late. That's usually, that gut feeling is when you need to act. And I've had plenty of those that I wish I could have, right? We all do. So again, we will continue um, our top 15 timeless investing principles for 2024 coming right up.